to The Place to Soar. I'm Anita Russell, and this is Gail Talafero. Soar is where you come to discover how to step out and redesign you. It's based on the premise that you are not average, that you have the heart to take your life as high as you want it to go. I'm going to let Gail describe to you some of the values that we have of SOAR, and then we're going to introduce our lovely guest here.
Hello, everyone. The main SOAR values that we've come up with to redesign and your life are life transitions, managing relationships, freedom and fulfillment, personal development, life coaching, community and family, the writer's edge, and travel adds value. And now we have our very first guest, Tynnetta Howard. Tynnetta Howard. Yes, we do. And she is going to talk about one of our core values, which is community and family. She has the Howard Healthy Choices. So Tynnetta, tell us about your organization.
And my organization is Howard Healthy Choices. Howard Healthy Choices has a lot of components under them, but the first component is working with the community and working with families. And the way we do that is we go into the community and we deal with other organizations whose children might be teeter-tottering over the line. You know, they're not in deep, deep trouble, but they're in enough trouble that they need some mentoring, they need another outlook on certain things. So what we do is we bring them into our organization and we mentor to them. But when we mentor to them, it's not just talking da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's just the way it's going to be. It's getting them to talk to us. It's getting them to tell us how they feel, their feelings, on what they want to do. And if it was a situation that they were in, tell us about that situation. Tell us how you could have did it better. So we give them techniques. We teach them healthy cooking, healthy eating. And we talk about different things that's going on in Trenton. It's one thing I do believe, that 65% of Trenton is related. So when we out there fighting, we need to remember, wait, is that my cousin? Could that be my brother or my sister that my mother or father didn't tell me about?
Wow.
The other thing is getting the fathers. We give fathers a bad name, I think. Fathers need to be uplifted because some of them are doing their part. They are playing their role, but they get the bad end of the stick. But we have some fathers out there who really, really need to be appreciated. So we go into that as well.
Awesome.
So can you tell us a little bit about you? And we're going to talk some more about your organization, but I really want the audience to kind of know a little bit about you. How did you even get on this path of how did you even come to founding Howard's Healthy Choices? And because your story is important as well.
Okay, well, my mother has 10 children.
Oh, wow.
And I am the fifth child.
Okay.
Fifth child.
So you're one of several middle children.
Yes. I first started working in Princeton at one of the schools. I went from there to the high school working with kids, and I found that to be very rewarding for me because I love kids. I went from there, I went to school, and then we decided as a family to open up a daycare center. We had a choice within the restaurant or daycare center. We went with the daycare center. So we opened up the daycare center in Lawrence, and it was a family one. I went from there to my other sister to open up 3 more daycare centers.
Oh, wow.
One was in Ewing, so I was the director of the one in Ewing, and just helping out the kids, but helping out the parents too, because a lot of parents are young parents, so they don't know. And to have them change roles with their child. So now you are the child in the classroom that's doing the learning, so that they can understand how their child is learning, what their child is learning. I went from there needing a mental break.
Yes.
So I went into the restaurant business, and I had Howard's Place too, soul food restaurant.
Oh, wow.
But as young ones was coming in there, I started helping them as well, especially young men. So I said, okay, I think you need to go back into helping children. So as I had Howard's Place too, I started working on Howard's Healthy Choices so that the young ones can make healthier choices, because some of the choices they were making was not healthy. It was reflecting bad for them and bad for their child. And I wanted something that will deal with them making healthier choices, healthier food choices, teaching them how to cook. A lot of our young ones don't know how to cook. When you come in and ask me, how do you make tuna fish salad, or how do you make egg salad? And they're really simple, and because you're so young and no one taught you, you don't know how to do that. So this thing that really got me was with certain foods, can't mention that one, that I just despise of, that all the kids buy and young adults buy for the children. They just don't know what it's doing to them. And a lot of kids, they want to know why kids are angry, or why they doing this or doing that. It's in what we eat. It throws our equilibrium off. So, and it also throws us off sometimes mentally, where red sauce may make you go off. And they want to know why you're going off, so now they're going to throw you some medication.
Yes.
So the parents are accepting the medication. Absolutely not. A lot of our parents and in the community don't realize how smart their children are. Your children don't have to go to school in Trenton. If they're smart, put them somewhere else. But if you're smart, you will make Trenton challenge your child.
Right.
Because parents don't realize how much power they have. They have more power than they know. And if you have that power, use it. Don't sit at home.
Yes.
Go to the school and
Yes,
use the
yes.
power that you have to make sure your child is learning what he or she should be learning. And if you know your child is smarter than that, go to the teacher and say, you need to mentally challenge my child.
Absolutely.
Because you're not doing that.
Absolutely.
This is power that they have and they're not using.
You know, and what you said, I did. And my son, he will never let me live it down. I did just that because I know that, I have I have responsibility, roles, and rights as a parent.
As a parent, yes, you do.
And one of the things I did was, I went to his high school because he went from a small private school to Trenton High. Okay? Now, I wasn't worried because he had the basics.
That's right.
Okay? But it's that transition that was, he had a little struggle. But once he had it's fine. But what I realized was when I was coming home, he wasn't doing homework. Whereas when he went to private school, he was at it, working at it.
Yeah.
So I had to have a talk with the teacher. So when I went to, I think it was like the first parent-teachers conference, and I'm like, and I said this, here you go, not for nothing. No, first I went to I went to them all, and they were saying the same thing. Oh, he's such a good student.
Yes.
Oh, he helps out in class. He does his homework. I'm like, well, you tell me things that he's supposed to do those things. That's
Right,
nothing.
right,
That's what he's supposed to do.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, so I got tired of hearing the same old thing. So when I met his last teacher, which was history, it was so funny. His last teacher, he said the same exact thing. So I said, listen, all you teachers said the same thing about my son, which is great. I'm glad he's doing what he's supposed to do. I said, not for nothing. Y'all not giving enough homework. I said, because when I come home from work, which is only a half an hour after he's gotten home, he's done with his homework. I'm like, what's going on?
Yes.
And he went like this. He's like, I tell you what I'm going to do. And my son was sitting right there, right? He said, I tell you what I'm going to do. Ronald, when I say the class has 3 pages to write, you got double, you got 6. He even, and I didn't know that they didn't have their own books. He's like,
Yes.
Ron, I'm gonna give you your own book.
Oh, wow.
Only
Yeah.
because I
what
went
was
down
Ronald's
there.
response?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he was mad. It was the last.
Yes.
It was the last teacher that I had to meet with, and it was history. And at the time, they were planning on adding writing to the SATs at one time. I don't know
Yes.
if they've done it yet,
Yes.
but you know, at that time they was thinking
Yes.
about. So I'm like, okay, well, he must probably needs some writing help with his writing. So this would get him into the habit of writing more. Oh man, we lived close to the high school, and we walked home. We walked on separate sides of the street.
Oh, wow.
He did not want to walk on the same side of the street. He did not want to. You know, he was mad because I told him, I'm like, you don't understand.
Yes.
I'm the one in control. And he was
Yes.
like, you're in control.
Yes.
But that's my whole point. As parents, we
We
have
have the
control.
control.
We have more
You do.
control.
And we
Absolutely.
can
They
make,
have
you
more
know,
control.
they are getting
Yes.
paid
That's right.
from our taxes.
Yes.
So therefore, we have a right to advocate for our children. We just need to be aware that we can do that.
Yes.
And then we can make changes.
Yes.
Yes.
The golden nugget in that story that Gail just told is the fact that she was very, very aware of her son.
Yes.
What his capabilities,
These are-
his capabilities and all of
Yes.
that, and was astute enough to be able to see that the environment that he's in right now is not challenging him
That's
enough.
right.
And if
That's
you
right.
get years and years and years and years and years
Years
of
of
that,
not being
your child
challenged.
doesn't really grow
Right,
the way
right.
that they could or the
You're
way
so
that
right.
they should, you
Yes.
know? So
You're so
that's
right.
that's really important that you had that, you know.
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
kind of reminds me of not so much with my kids, but with my grandson. We had
Mm-hmm.
an issue last year where he was in a private school for a half of a year, and
Right.
basically what I got out of this experience is that parents also have to be aware of the environment that their child is in. Because sometimes your child can be in an environment that just does not support them in terms of the educational growth that they need.
That's right.
And another environment might be better. So I had my grandson in a local Catholic school, but I'd say probably within the first month, like I could tell this is not working for my grandson. And that's not to say that he was a perfect little kid. Y'all know Zane. He's a bit challenging,
Yes.
but he's a great kid,
Yes.
very smart.
Yes.
But he was in the wrong environment. And I needed to make some choices to kind of be able to move him out of that environment. And
Yes.
one of the things that I was blessed with is the fact that I don't have a corporate 9-to-5 job anymore, which meant I could pour into him. So what I did was homeschooled him for like the second half of his kindergarten year. And I knew the things that I needed to work on specifically. And I began to work on those things, worked on his academics, and he's sailing now. He's soaring in first grade. And he
Awesome.
feels
That's
so
awesome.
good
That's
about
awesome.
what he's doing.
That's awesome.
So, you know,
That's
again,
awesome.
parents have to be aware not
Yes.
only of their child, but they also have to be astutely aware of what is going on and the environment that their child is in.
Yes.
And that is so true.
It
You know,
is. It is.
we really need to understand that it's important to go to the open house, the PTAs.
PTAs, yes.
You know,
PTOs.
yes,
all of that is
parent-teacher
very-
conference.
It's very important for them to go to that, because if you don't, then you don't know what's going on with your son. And then
Right,
as soon as
right.
they say, oh, he have to stay back, now you want to blow up
Yeah.
at the teacher when
Exactly.
you didn't had all this opportunity to go in to see about your child. And when you at the dinner table, I just wish and hope that more parents start sitting down at the dinner table and discussing what went on
Absolutely.
during the day
Absolutely.
with your child, because that's when you're going to get all your information out. I mean, it's not going to hurt parents nowadays just to say, okay, I'm going to sit out a half an hour, I won't go out, I won't go down the street to my girlfriend's house, but I'm going to sit right here with my children. We're going to eat together, we're going to talk together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a big part that's missing with our children right now. That's why in the program, we open with a prayer, we sit down and we eat together, and we close the program with a prayer.
Excellent.
And I think that if more parents did that, I'm not saying go to church. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is get that connection with God and your children.
Amen. Yes.
And if you get that
yes.
connection, then you'll know what's going on and you'll know what moves to make.
Yes, yes.
You will know that maybe your child is not doing well here, but might do well over here. You will know that there's other schools out there that would accept your child because, wait, he's bright. What? He can take that apart and rebuild that? Oh, I better look for this school for him over here. He'll be able to go here. Let's not wait till our children get into the 9th and 10th grade
Exactly.
to figure
Yeah.
out what they
Yeah.
want to do with their lives, because 9th grade we messing around, 10th grade you know we messing around, 11th grade we didn't woke up halfway but we still messing around, 12th grade we really didn't woke up and found out we not even going to graduate.
And that's
Or we are going to graduate and we don't know what we're going to do.
Exactly.
So now my grandmother has came along and said, why don't you go here? I'll pay for it. So now I'm at Rutgers University, and I done messed up all grandma's money. Because truly, I should have went to Mercer County to get myself together
you know what?
before I transferred to a bigger school. We need to get our children together, and if we don't, we're going to lose them. We giving them too much. Lights off. But my child got on a 200 pair of sneakers. But my lights off. Come on, y'all.
You know what? And what
Exactly.
you said is so true about, you know, and if you sit around the table and get to know each other, because just because we're parent and child doesn't mean that we know each other.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. You're absolutely
And
right.
the transition, like without, because I only have the one son, so that's the only one I'm going to talk about. But you know, like you said, sitting down and understanding what happened that day.
Right.
Like one of the things when he transitioned from a smaller school to a large school, and you know, I was able to tell that he was not with it, and it, you know, I maybe a little depression setting in. So I'm like, you know, what's going on? I said, look, you like to run, join the track team.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you said
Yes.
you like to run, join the
Yes.
track team. And then I noticed that he likes to tinker with stuff. I didn't know what was going on with my VCR player at the time. The
But
boy
he
was
did.
he was taking it apart. I didn't know that. So I'm like, you like
Wow.
to tinker with stuff and put
Wow.
things together?
Yeah.
I said, there's a robotics club at the school.
Ah,
Yes.
see?
I
See?
said, you know,
See?
and I know you like taking things apart and putting them back together. Try that. What is he now? A mechanical engineer.
Isn't that wonderful?
But we have to
We have to
identify
what they like
what
to
they
do.
can do, what they
Yes,
can't do,
yes.
and if you don't know, try different
The
things
things.
to see what they'll have an
Have to do.
interest in.
Exactly.
And that's what Howard's Healthy Choice is all about, is getting them started earlier.
Yes.
Getting them started earlier and what they want to do, so you know that, okay, wait a minute. I thought I wanted to be a nurse, but I can't do that. Let's go over here. Oh, wow, I can be a lawyer. Okay, I like doing this. So with Howard Healthy Choices, we teamed them up with different people. We had a young lady who we teamed up with a lawyer. We have another young lady who wants to be a nurse. Well, they have a volunteer program at the hospital, so we're teaming her up. We're doing her paperwork, and she'll start in January. So we're doing stuff like that. We want to team up somebody and send them to the firehouse.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and it's all in-house, working inside of Trenton, because Trenton has a lot of resources. And if we use the resources that we have in Trenton, then guess what? When they grow up, they will stay in Trenton, and then they will have their own businesses. And then Trenton will grow even more. The school system will get even better. So we have to keep, as the community and as a family and as dealing with families, we have to keep in mind that we want Trenton to grow.
Absolutely.
Pride, Trenton pride.
Pride, yes, we want it to grow. We don't want it to be named, oh no, don't go to Trenton, don't move to Trenton. We don't want that. We want Trenton to grow, to say, wait a minute, I need to be over there in Trenton. You know, so that's what we need. And by educating the families and by educating the children, and the children that I have right now, they all are doing so extremely well. From graduating when they said that they couldn't graduate, from learning the techniques, doing the techniques that we taught them, for teaching them a budget. Understand, when your mom say, I don't have, because this, and this need to be paid, remember the budget that I gave you. Remember how much money you had left. remember what you could spend and what you couldn't spend. So understand mom when mom said, I can't do it.
Exactly. Yes,
Don't go
yes.
with an attitude, say, okay, I have to wait on that.
Yeah.
So that's what we teach them, stuff of that nature. But the program is growing. It's doing well. The mentoring part is doing well. And Gail just don't know that these children need to learn how to sew. Yes, they need to go back to the old school. They need to know how to sew. So we definitely want to teach them, Gail, how to sew.
One of
Got
the things
it.
that I'd like to just a little bit to comment on is I've actually had the opportunity to start working with Howard's Healthy Choices,
Yes.
Just helping them with some organizational development, really taking all those skills that I acquired while I was in corporate America and kind of taking all of that and giving
Yes.
it over to your organization. So one of the things that I experienced was the summer camp program.
Okay, yes.
And so I haven't even known Tynnetta that long, but I met her and had the opportunity to come over to the location where her place is. And at one point, I walked into the basement and I saw all these belts and I saw all these arts and crafts and all kinds of stuff going on. So can you tell the audience a little bit about that aspect of your program?
Yes. The arts and crafts. When kids are doing arts and crafts, usually is a teacher up there and they have picked out what they want the child to do. We brought the art out of the child. So we asked them, somebody donated us some belts. I said, redesign the belts. Oh, and they did that. I said, well, okay, you did that. Wow, okay. But you said you couldn't do that.
Right.
He was like, no, I can do this. Oh, can I get another one? Because I want to make it like this, and I want to make it look like a frog, and, so they did that. The other arts, and they did so much themselves. I just put the materials there.
In front of them, yes.
And once I put the materials there in front of them, they just soared. And one little boy, he can draw so well on paper that the parent didn't know he can draw.
Wow.
So we connected that parent. Oh, look at that. Wait a minute. You might want to start looking at some art schools for him because he did so well in that. To the arts that they have, and we still have them, we want to donate them and we want to send them out. And the kids picked two organizations that they wanted to work with, which was the Cancer Society and Lupus Foundation.
Oh, okay.
So those are the two that they want to, give the stuff out to. But they did so well in that. Even when it came to gym, and I had one little boy say, I ain't running. I'm too big to run. I ain't running. I said, listen, you are not too big to run. Yes, I am. Everybody going to laugh at me. I said, no, they won't. So he was like, no. So I took his hand, and we went running. And we went running. So when he found out that he was losing weight, he said, Miss Tynnetta, I don't need you to hold my hand. I know what I got to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to run. And he went to running. And then he said, I want to do 2 more laps. I'll do 2 more laps. This young man lost weight. He was so happy with himself. He stopped saying certain things. He was just happy. And I was happy for him because we prepare all the food there. We don't eat just anything. We eat all healthy food. So we would shop every day during the summertime. So we would take them in the store to show them healthy food, ingredients, read what this mean, what that mean, if it don't have any protein in it, how many calories, how many sugars do it have in it. We want to stay under 22 grams of sugar and all of that kind of stuff. We did that with them, and it was a well-rounded program. Some glitches, of course. When we had one young man who pulled the fire alarm, but he learned something from that. So he took and changed himself all the way around just from pulling that fire alarm because he had the right why he pulled the fire alarm. And then he had to address the fire company that came. And then he had to address the building that we were in. He had to address that. He had to address me. And he was like, I'll never do that again. I just wanted to know what it sounded like. I said, really?
So that was a
It's like,
powerful
yeah.
lesson
So
on
it was
consequences.
a powerful
Yes.
lesson.
Yes.
And then we, in the group, we all get in a group. And once we got in the group, everybody asked him why he did it. So he had to explain to everybody why he did it, but it was a consequence because we are a family. So we didn't get to do something that day. The kids wasn't too mad at him, but they was a little upset. But they understood why. Because if you with someone and they about to rob a store, guess what? You in trouble too.
Exactly.
So the lesson was that if you know somebody is about to do something, you get clean away from that person. You just go so that you won't be in trouble.
Right.
You know. So every time, sometimes I say, go over and stand by the fire alarm. Everybody would they move clean away and say, he over there by the fire alarm. I said, I know, but you know, different things like that.
Yeah. So
but
I feel your passion.
it's
just
a
it just
passion.
radiates from you, the passion, and I think that's one of the really incredible things when you go through your life and you get to that point where you're doing something, not just to draw a paycheck.
Yes.
You're doing something because that's your passion and that's
Yes.
what you were put on the planet to do. So we only have like another minute or so. So
Okay.
what would you like to leave the audience with? What nugget or
Volunteers,
there you go.
mentors. We need people who are very strong in math, very strong in math. A lot of our kids are weak in math, and we need to bring them up in math. But they're strong in other subjects, but they need math. A lot of people don't think you do, but you do need math. And we need to strengthen their math and the way we teaching them math, because everybody don't learn math in the same way.
That's right.
So we need different approaches to math so that the kids can get it.
Absolutely.
Now, how can they contact you?
They can contact me by calling 609-341-0192.
And what about your website?
Oh, you can go to my website, howardhealthychoices.org. We also have a Facebook page. You can see what the kids did. We played in the rain, and the kids was ecstatic about playing soccer in the rain.
Good. So we hope you all have enjoyed our discussion with Ms. Tynnetta Howard and learning a little bit about Howard's Healthy Choices. Be sure to go visit her website, or if you're interested in volunteering, just give her a call. We hope that your interest was sparked and that you'll join us the next time at The Place to Soar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.